How do you learn how to channel? This is such a beautiful question. Channeling is, in and of itself, it's like a whole nother animal. We are relying on the spirit of an ascended master, or the spirit of, like for me with the Arcturian Council, I'm relying on the spirit of sacred wisdom from a soul to come through. And there are times where that can be a little hard to quantify. And so I'm going to do my best, being someone who channels and that is new to it in the last 2 years. I feel like would be really relevant if you're a beginner, or you feel like, I'm kind of sensing something, like maybe I could do it, or you're just plain fascinated. Like, what on earth are you doing when you channel, Carrie? And can everybody do that? Or how does this even work? Let's get into it. Carrie Starr with Warrior Goddess Garden. I would love your support with the channel. If you like this content, subscribe, hit the bell so you get all the videos, and like this if I do a good job in my video here. Thanks for being here. So channeling, I had a subscriber ask like, hey, I saw your live channeling where you live channel Jesus, and I was really touched by it, and I was curious, like, can everybody just do that? Like, can we all just channel? Or how do you learn how to do it? Like, what is going on? All good questions, and all questions that I asked if ever I saw someone else channeling. And truly, I thought it was super weird when I would see other people channeling. I did not know what was going on. And I think I also got a little bit weirded out at times too, because sometimes they'll take on other voices, or like they'll move their body, or like make high-pitched sounds. And honestly, that kind of scares me. I respect them, and I do listen to a lot of them, that because I am now so curious, being a channeler myself. But honestly, that's not what happens for me at all. My voice doesn't really change. It changes a little bit when I channel the Arcturian Council, but it pretty much just sounds like me. And I'm just talking, just my regular voice, and the messages are coming through. And so what started to happen, what kicked off me channeling, was the Arcturian Council. So the Arcturians are ninth dimensional beings, star race of alien that live on the star, what used to be planet Arcturus, in the northern sky. And they came to me in the middle of the night and said, hey, time to wake up. I have Arcturian videos you can watch that explain it a little bit more, but hey, time to wake up. I was astral dreaming with them. I was in classroom with them learning, and then they woke me up out of a dead sleep at 2 a.m. I think it was in the month of May or June of 2020. And they said, we want you to look outside. That's the planet Arcturus, and you're Arcturian, and your timeline's been activated, and we're activating one of your soul contracts. And the rest is history. And fast forward a few months later, and I saw that Daniel Scranton, channeled the Arcturian Council. And I remember watching a few of his videos, which are beautiful and wonderful, and I highly recommend it. The messages that come through him are he feels like family now to me. Like, I'd love to read his works and read what comes through, because it just feels like home. And it's so similar to what I channel from them as well. And so I was watching Daniel's work, and then I thought, I wonder if I should try that. I wonder what would happen, because like the Arcturians were constantly giving me messages, and as we say in this community, is like they were giving me downloads. Like, I felt like they were moving blocks of thought to me constantly, and like I was interpreting all this information, and it was just happening every week, sometimes daily or weekly, of like all this information of a spiritual ascension and how things work and what Earth is all about and how do we ascend and what are the symptoms we're going through, and just so much information. And I thought, I wonder if I could do that. Like, and they literally said, when I asked the question, they're like, well, why don't you sit down and turn on a camera and we'll show you? And I was like, oh. And I was like, well, I was like, well, I don't want to show this to anybody. Like, I just want to know if I can do it. And they're like, just be quiet and turn on the camera. Like, they have a fun sense of humor and they're pretty cheeky with me. So they're like, just turn on the camera already and just do it. And so I did. And what came through was like, holy moly, like, that's not stuff I even know about. And they're like, well, we know, like, because you're channeling our information and you're the conduit. So I tell this story to give you an example of A, how actually simple it is, and B, how we oftentimes, if we have an inkling that we might have this ability, which I believe most people have the ability to channel, is we talk ourselves out of it because of fear, because of imposter syndrome, because of self-doubt, all the reasons why we don't do most things. Fear, self-doubt, worry, we want to be liked, we want to be accepted, we don't want to be kicked out of the tribe, don't look too weird, don't do stuff that's not cool, none of my family or friends will understand this, so why would I do that? That's often what holds us back in life. And so I have, over the last 10 years, had those lessons, and I've let a lot of that go. And so my work now, and why I have this channel and why I'm full-time with Warrior Goddess Garden, is to help others on this journey of like, if you have an inkling that you might be able to channel, chances are you can channel. And I believe that to cultivate that and to start off on your path for channeling is you need to learn how to get quiet. So whether that be prayer for you or meditation or, any kind of meditation too, it doesn't always have to look like sitting with your knees crossed with your fingers, in a pose, although that's lovely. It can be a walking meditation. It can be spending time on a mountain. It could be doing a beautiful, soothing activity where you're in a contemplative state. Not a lot of distraction. And sit quietly and see what's coming. Because what I noticed is that I keep getting the inkling. Like, I would keep getting the inkling from the Arcturian Council of like, we have things that we want you to say. Like, will you please let us come through? Like, we want to channel. Like, we want you to channel us. So what happened is like they kept giving me a little inkling and I would be like, no, I don't do that. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that's all about. I'm not a channel. Like, I don't look like all those other people and I'm going to start saying different voices and making noises. Like, I don't know. And they're like, oh my gosh, will you just turn on the camera already and just do it? And so I did. And it was really, really cool. And then what I'm finding is that I can channel other people. Like, Jesus kept coming one day of like, not more than one day. It was like for weeks. And I was having the whole imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to channel Jesus? Like, that's Jesus. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then I just did it already. And it was so beautiful. You can watch that video, Live Channeling Jesus. It's in my lineup. It was so beautiful. And the message was so amazing. And actually, I've gotten the prompt many more times to channel Jesus, but I was in my couple months of healing, so I wasn't turning on the camera much. But I suspect that I will be channeling many more. Another channeler to watch, if you don't already, is Amanda Ellis. Amanda Ellis is such a sweetheart. I adore her. I watch all of her videos, and she channels what she calls the Heart Squad, and she channels all kinds of people, and it is so cool. Michael Jackson. Who did she just channel? Oh, she's channeled Ascended Masters, rock stars that have passed away, like all kinds of really fascinating people. She channels them, and they bring through the most gorgeous messages. And it's so inspiring and helps us understand that soul is a soul and energy never dies. And we have things that we can still learn from these souls, even though they've crossed through the veil. So I do believe that most people do have this ability if they're willing to cultivate it. But part of that is understanding that you're breaking away from a societal norm. And so that takes a lot of heart. It takes believing in yourself and believing in who and what you are and your incredible, phenomenal abilities as a human. We are so powerful. Um, yeah, so that's my thought on channeling. I do believe you can do it. I believe it takes sitting in quiet and allowing who wants to be used through you to channel. Like, who wants to channel through you? Like, that's the next question is like, okay, you're quiet and you're in a space to receive it. Now, who's coming forward? And a really large part of that is not getting in your own way. So many times we talk ourselves out of all these powerful things and these powerful abilities we have. Get out of your own way and see what comes forward. I would love to hear in the comments what happens. Who's coming forward for you? Are you feeling like you have this gift of channeling? Would you like me to make more videos on this? Because I totally will if it's resonating and it's hitting home. I would love to do that. I love to make videos that you want to watch. I also offer one-to-one intuitive energy sessions every single day. They're really, really easy to find. They're in my link tree, which is right in this video here. You can click on the link tree, or they're in the description. You can click, pick your time, date, and I will see you on Zoom at the time that you decide. I would love to work with you. I'm very, very skilled. My modality is Taoist medical Qigong. And I am very skilled at integrating the whole body and looking at what's not working and why, and possibly where it is transpiring on your spiritual path. Or it could also, we might do some mediumship if there is a soul that is longing to come through to give you healing messages. So I'd love to work with you. Thanks for being here. And until next time, so love to you.